Hello guys, how are you doing? I recently just read this book. It's about 30 million words, and generally it's a book that has been written for parents, and it tells the parents how they can teach their kids, develop the words or the vocabulary of their kids. And as a teacher, I thought I could read this and understand how kids learn words, because parents generally are the first teachers of their kids. And I thought if I have a kid in my class, probably they're not 0 to 3, because the book focuses on the age of 0 to 3 years old. That's when the kid's brain is active and learning a lot of words, and it actually makes a difference whether a kid is going to be very good at mathematics or not, depending on the number of words they learn from the age of 0 to 3. And I know the students that I have in my class are not 3 years old. I think the youngest is 6 years old. So 6, it's already twice the age that the book or the research that was done in this book is based on. But as teachers, generally, when we start working with kids, I like to think that's their first year learning another language. So let's think they're 0 years old or 1 year old. So I'm going to share with you 5 things I learned from this book. Probably you can use these when teaching kids or working with kids. So lesson number 1, how to speak to kids. Generally, before I worked with kids, I used to be afraid of working with kids because generally, I don't know where to begin from. Adults, at least they can grab the cell phone. If you say a word they don't understand, they can grab their cell phones and quickly find the word. But kids don't have this kind of different options. They depend on you to teach them everything. So I kind of panicked somehow while I was trying to figure out how to do this. But something I learned from this book, for example, when you get to class, instead of saying, you, name, what? No, you should speak in full sentences. Like, what are you doing? What is your name? What have you done today? Did you eat something? You should use long sentences. Don't be afraid of using long sentences. And besides that, for example, there is a kid I was working with, and we did so many classes because generally a student is shy at first, and when they get used to you, they begin speaking to you. But for kids, this was a kid that was in beginners. So he couldn't speak to me. And I was wondering, what am I going to do to get this kid to speak? Because the parents are going to watch the class and see the kid is not speaking, and you've done so many classes with the kid and they're still not speaking. Probably you're a teacher and watching this and you think, yeah, that's why I also am afraid of working with kids. But you should work with kids because there is no problem if the kid cannot speak right away. It's okay, because actually when we learn our first languages, we do not speak right away from the very first time. We listen to our parents, they speak to us months and years without us speaking back. And then when we begin speaking back, we don't begin speaking back fluently. We begin with 1 word, 2 words, and then we begin to make sentences. So it's important for the teacher to not give up. If you're teaching, do not give up. Just continue speaking long sentences, tell stories. I love stories. So sometimes I tell my students stories and we tell stories, and even if they don't understand, some of the activities you can do that I generally do in class, you can find pictures and tell stories because there is already something they're looking at. So they're not only depending on the words you're saying. They depend on the words you're saying, and they can also see you maybe circle, write, draw, show. If you're with the class face-to-face, my classes are online, so this is where I'm saying you draw on the screen and everything. So that's lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 is how to give compliments. How can we give compliments to the students? There is a difference between telling the student, you're awesome, and telling the student, this wasn't a very easy job, but you worked hard on it, and I love what you did. You did a great job. If you use the first form of compliment, you're developing the student's ego. But the second form of compliment, it helps the student to improve, to develop resiliency. In the future, this student or this kid, when they face trouble in something they're trying to do, they can easily give up because they think, I'm smart. How can I fail to do this? In the second one, they're resilient. When they fail to do something, they know I have to put in more effort, so they don't easily give up. My battery is running low. I'm only gonna do 2 lessons, but you should read the book. It's written in English. You can find videos talking about the book. I also made a video in Turkish. I hope you enjoy it. If you understand Turkish, I'm gonna link it below. Thank you for listening. Have a great time. Bye-bye.